Hope everybody's having a great day. In this video, I'm going to go through how much time exactly it took me to drop a high rune and all the magic finding in the process. Hope you enjoy. Just realize every time I hit the space bar to start this video, it stops OBS from recording. That's really genius. So I guess click it with my finger right here. +3 to Conviction War Scepter. I thought that was pretty cool for the level 30 level requirement, so I included that. That could be useful. Maybe low level dueling. +5 res, small charm. 15 minutes into the runs. Got another small charm. I think that this is cool, especially with the Aradin becoming better and stuff. You know, have an inventory full of these. Of course, there's much better ones, but I think this one's not too bad. I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure there's a Hammerden on here who's going to tell me that it's trash. Or a Blizzard Sorceress. 22 minutes in, we get an IK helmet. Not really anything special, but I try to just be realistic with the drops to show you something that's even worth mentioning. A lot of times nothing drops at all, as this is Players 1, so keep that in mind as well. 35 minutes in, basically 36 minutes in, we get a Raven lore. 45 minutes in, 44 minutes really, we got a Mage plate with 3 open sockets. I don't really even know the defense rolls on those, but if you want to make an Enigma and a Mage plate, you're doing it for style. Otherwise, you just have a Dusk Shroud. Got a +6 Nosferatu's Coil 50 minutes into the runs. Then 52 minutes in, we get a 3 open socket Demon Head. That could be good for a Flickering Flame in the future or something, once they finally do put that into non-ladder. I'm not about to pay like 6 spur runes for a Flickering Flame. Got me fucked up. Pair of Nat boots dropped. Natalia's boots. Nobody really cares about them that much, but I included them just for the realism of the runs to see. You know, a lot of people say nothing's dropping for me. Things are dropping. It's just not what you want to drop. Let's be realistic. 58 minutes in, we get a Najus Puzzler. An hour and 9 minutes in, we get a 29 ED Jewel. Pretty good. Not amazing or anything, but it's worth holding on to in case you want to use it on something. Much better than wasting an Ohm rune to get 50 ED, in my opinion. I thought this ring was pretty cool that dropped 1 hour and 12 minutes into the runs. Just because, imagine you're like doing some dueling or something. You got decent cold res, you got some light res, little bit of fire res, kind of trash, the other thing. But this is also low level, level 24 ring. Imagine you're fighting in your low level dueling and you're like a paladin, a charge paladin, Zealer or something, and you just start ice blasting your enemy. I thought that would be pretty cool. Just as something, fuck with somebody's head, play some mind games. An hour and 23 minutes in, we get an Ethereal Cryptic Sword. I actually wound up rolling it and getting 1 open socket in it, so that was an L. Got a unique ring, 1 hour 34 minutes in. Turned out to be a Ravenfrost. Perfect dexterity roll. 4 points away from anti-perfect on the attack rating though, because that's from 150 to 250. Diablo dropped us actually the highest damage weapon that you can use for Fist of Heavens, which is the Hand of Blessed Light, Divine Scepter. I was actually running this a lot on my Fist of Heavens Paladin when I would put Griffins on him, because you would be able to run like Griffins, Arachnid's Mesh, and you could run Herald of Zakarum in addition to this and just get a huge, you know, like 9,000, 10,000 damage Holy Bolt, which is pretty nuts with the 75 FCR breakpoint. 57 seconds into the next run, I guess this was after I ate or something like that, I come back into Chaos and I drop a 3 open socket Grand Matron, 4 open socket Grand Matron bow with +3 to skills. I thought that was a pretty good one. 16 minutes in, I drop a Hellslayer. This is another one of those realism things, like it's not really that great, but I just wanted to show it. And 8 minutes in, I think this might have actually been the same run, I might be wrong. We get a Crown of Thieves, which is always good. It's only 10 life leech. Ideally it would be 12. The extra gold is actually pretty kick-ass though. I think 100's the highest you can get, but 99's not bad. Should have thought about that before I gave it away. It's probably more valuable than the life leech, at least for my purposes at this point. That could have been good on my Pork Barb's mercenary. 20 minutes into that run, we get a 5 open socket Berserker Axe. This is actually pretty valuable. I'm probably going to hold on to it for whenever I want to re-roll another Grief. Or I might do something wild and make like an Eternity or something, whichever the one is with the revives on it. That way I can make a Barbarian and then maybe have like Eternity in one hand, Beast in the other hand, and then Telestomp Bale with a bunch of revives. I think that could be cool. 1 hour and 1 minute in, we get something off the Grail, which is Maelstrom U-Wand. I just thought it was cool because it was I don't think I found this yet, so I always get kind of excited about those. Grailers are always fun. Unless I'm wrong still, nobody in the world has gotten an Grail yet. And I think it'll probably be quite some time before that happens. 1 hour and 19 minutes into this run, got a Trang armor. An hour 53 minutes in, we get ourselves a Skin of the Flayed one. It's non-eth, but I think it does have perfect life leech on it, which could be good for certain mercenary setups. Then actually in that same exact pack at a minute 53, we get, an hour 53, we get a pair of Laying of Hands. 1 hour 31 minutes in, or no, this is actually a new session, my bad. 1 minute 31 seconds into the next runs, we get a Superior Troll's Nest, only 5 ED, but it's a 3 open socket. In my opinion, you know, the coolest shield that you could use for like Dual Dream on a sorceress or something. If you like the content and you want to see more in the future, be sure to subscribe. It really does help me out as I'm trying to reach 1,000 by the end of the year. 24 minutes into those runs, we get a Flesh Ripper Fang Knife. I've actually seen some really cool style points builds that have 2 of these with Zod runes in them. They're surprisingly dangerous, actually. They've got a bunch of good stats on them. 40 minutes into that run, we get a Superior Bone Visage with Visagi, 7 ED on it, 13 enhanced durability. I don't really think that really is shit, except for a more expensive price to repair. 36 minutes in, we get a 15 IAS jewel with 2 to minimum damage. I really hate having to read the time at the bottom. I feel like y'all can fucking do that by now, honestly. I'm not your mother. 218 Ravenfrost later on in that same run off of Travincal. Travincal is just one of my go-tos. If I feel like I'm kind of unlucky or something, I'll usually go back to Travincal. Then here's another one of those ones that nobody cares about, but you know, it is somewhat rare. Ariok's Needle with +3 to skills. It's +4 to skills on the max, my bad. Get a 20 to life small charm later on at Travincal. Not bad. Best drop of the whole session. Lucky Grand Charm, 1%. That was just a troll. Had to throw it in there. Then a little bit later we get a Fool's Mod War Scepter. I just thought this was pretty cool. Not really all that special. I think it would have been really cool if it had like +3 to Blessed Hammer and +3 to something else, but the fact it has Fool's Mod and Replenish Life could be decent for low level dueling. I know it's not going to be the fastest on the attack speed side, but kind of cool. Later on that same session, we get a Mavs belt. Another one of those that, just like this Credendum Mithril Coil that also drops, not really all that amazing, but it's cool. Later on that same session, we get a Naja's Light Plate, Hellforge Plate. Get a Nord's Tenderizer later on. That's another one of those ones I'm just showing you. There are uniques dropping, just not the ones you want. Pretty decent pretty decent Grand Charm with life, max damage, and AR. And it's got a really low level requirement also, so I mean, pretty decent charm right here. A lot of things people don't really think about is sometimes you'll look at an item and be like, it's trash. They don't really factor in the fact that it's like a level 23 item. That thing's pretty kick-ass for the level. Later on, we get a Carrion Wind at Travincal, which I think is a pretty good ring. I think we got one off of Anti-Perfect on the Life Leech, but if you never use this ring like on a Zealer or a Frenzy Barbarian, it's really awesome for the crowd control. Another thing, if you use the right setup on a Druid, and you have like a Fury Druid or something, and you wear Carrion Wind, and you have points into like Tornado and the other thing, and you use like a Storm Lash or something as your weapon, you can actually do some pretty cool proc builds with this ring. So it's not bad. It's also got the damage taken goes to mana, so if you're a character using Enigma that's a melee character, when you get hit, you gain a little bit of mana back, which is cool. Later on, we get a Hexfire, Smasher. It's not really all that good, but it's another one of those uniques that you don't even really admit you're dropping uniques, but you're dropping uniques even though you don't want them. Another Laying of Hands. A funny story, I saw somebody bragging about ripping somebody off for a pair of Laying of Hands, and it's like, they didn't get over on anybody. I give those away and throw them on the ground all the time. This was actually the last drop from yesterday before I started more runs today. And this was just one of those cool ones. It's a Eth War Scepter. Level 3 requirement, 10 faster cast rate. Like, that would be like a little style points thing to run around with while you're leveling your character up. You know, maybe I shouldn't have included it. We get another Flesh Ripper today. So now we got matching ones. I think I threw it on the ground though. Here's another one of those lower level charms that I think could be good. 5 to Dex, 1 to 55 lightning damage. You know, that's not bad on like a Zeal Paladin. You know, holy, what's it called?
Holy shit Paladin.
It wouldn't be bad on a Holy Shock Paladin. You know, get a little bit of attack rating. Later on, we get a pair of IK gloves. Then we get a badly rolled Taurasha's Eye. One of the best drops of the whole session. A 5/5 die rainbow facet fire one. Pretty cool in my opinion. Then here's another one of those ones that is rarer than it should be. A Ghost Flame Legend Spike. One of those uniques that isn't very useful, but it's cool. I've dropped it a couple times by now. Just rolled an offensive Aras. I'm actually gonna roll it again because pretty sure it was like a 47 mana Grand Charm at one point. So I don't know, my like third stash tab is full of grand charms that need to be re-rolled, and they're all Bale grand charms, so they all have the possibility of being 45 to life skillers and shit. So I'm just gonna keep rolling those, but I'm really running out of space in my inventory though. Later on, we get an IK belt, another Trang's armor from cows, same place where we found the last one. Then a little bit later, I think on the same run, we get a Sacred Targe with 60 enhanced damage and 122 attack rating. I don't know what the max rolls that are on this, but I think those are pretty good rolls on that. I don't know what I would use it for. Maybe for like a dream or a dragon or something like that. Then on Eldritch, we just find a random Fool's Mod, Sawaya. Not a very good one, but I mean, I don't know. I always like when I find a Fool's Mod. I feel like that's really valuable attribute on a weapon, especially for PvP. Then on the way to cows, we get our hands on an Atma Scarab. Definitely one of my favorite amulets in the game for sure. I really think that that's a good one that's slept on. We get a pair of rare gloves and cows. I don't really think these are all that special because, I mean, strength, dexterity. If they had higher strength, then I could maybe see it, but you'd probably want res instead of the strength. But, I mean, they're noteworthy. And then right after this, we get the very last drop. And I'll tell you right now, it was about 8 or 9 hours of gameplay over the course of like 3 or 4 sessions of playing. And yeah, I didn't even get the rune to drop. My mercenary did. Watch. See him? Just poking away at the ghost. Got us a burr rune. So yeah, man. Hope everybody has a good one. Once again, if you want to support the channel, really consider subscribing so you can see more content like this.
And everybody have a great day.